Welcome back to Western New York Living. There's a fact out there about riding motorcycles. I'm not sure if you know, but the number of motorcycle accidents that occur annually are almost equivalent to the number of automobile accidents. But these cases are handled very differently, and that's where our next guest comes in, joining us to share some thought and insight into how these matters happen. From Cellino Law is senior trial attorney Stephen Ciocca. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me, Nicholas.
So whether you have an automobile or a motorcycle accident, you would call a lawyer at Cellino. How are they handled differently for automobile and motorcycle specifically?
So the first thing is probably the most obvious, is that motorcycle accidents generally do not end well for people on the motorcycle. So what happens is that what people don't realize, though, is that their coverages, their insurance coverages, are vastly different. People have heard about no fault. That's kind of a misnomer. It doesn't mean that somebody's not at fault. Most of the time somebody is at fault. It just goes to who is going to pay your bills, who is going to pay your no-fault benefits. And that's where the large difference between automobiles and motorcycles comes into play.
So I know that when an accident occurs, there are a lot of things that arise. The cost for medical bills, lost wages, prescriptions, whatever therapy someone might need to heal. What do you do at Cellino Law that can help people that are in an accident?
So the biggest thing is to secure the benefits that you're entitled to. In an automobile accident case, you are entitled to no-fault benefits, which pays things like your medical bills, your lost wages, which is hugely important, prescription costs, therapy, all of those things. That's what you want to do, is secure that for an injured individual. The problem is, in a motorcycle, those benefits are not available. You are specifically excluded from the no-fault law. So that means trying to secure benefits for somebody on a motorcycle is vastly different. You are not entitled to lost wage paid through your motorcycle. What you want to do is make sure that you have good health insurance, because that's who's going to pay your bills. You want to make sure that hopefully you have some type of disability coverage, because that's who's going to pay your lost wages. People believe that, well, if a car causes a crash and I'm on a motorcycle, the car's insurance is going to pay my bills. It's not. Who pays your bills is going to be whatever health insurance you have as somebody on the motorcycle.
So the no faults, as you said, is a deceiving phrase.
Very deceiving, and it's a big misnomer, in that people believe that, well, if somebody's not at fault, this happens. That's not true. It just basically states that regardless of who's at fault, if you and I get involved in a crash, for example, no matter which of us is at fault, it won't be me, but I'm just
Of course.
If we crash into each other, my insurance is going to pay my no-fault benefits, and your insurance is going to pay your no-fault benefits.
I understand. I've heard the term serious injury threshold when it comes to accidents involving motorcycles. Explain what that's all about.
So the serious injury threshold only applies to motor vehicles. It does not apply to motorcycles.
Okay.
So when you're in a motor vehicle, in order to be able to recover from a responsible party, you have to sustain an injury which is considered serious enough to entitle you to be compensated. On a motorcycle, it does not apply, so any type of an injury, as long as somebody's at fault, obviously, any type of injury does entitle you to be compensated for your damages.
Now, we want, obviously, all motorcycle riders to ride safely and all drivers to pay attention. Motorcycles are a little harder to see than regular vehicles. That being said, if someone does have an accident, what's the time frame on calling someone at Cellino Law?
So your best bet is to call somebody immediately, because the idea is you want to make sure that you secure as much evidence as you can, and you want to make sure that you take the proper photographs, you contact the proper people. So the best advice that I can give anybody is to contact an attorney immediately.
Thank you for the advice. Great to have you in the studio today, Stephen.
Great to be here, Nicholas. Thank you.
The personal injury attorneys at Cellino Law represent injury victims throughout New York State. If you've been involved in a car or motorcycle accident, then Cellino Law can help. Their offices are located at 800 Delaware Avenue in Buffalo. For more information, you can call them, 800-555-5555. You can also visit their website at cellinolaw.com to learn more about all the different services that Cellino Law provides. Well, that wraps up the show for this week, and thank you for joining us this morning. We want to thank you all for tuning in. Next Saturday, Kevin Sylvester is back hosting a brand new show starting at 9 a.m., filled with amazing guests. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and most importantly, stay safe. I'll see you soon.
This segment of Western New York Living was sponsored by the following: